Hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome back to the channel. I feel like I know my past few videos have been me traveling and traveling a lot. The amount I traveled in October was more than the whole entire 2023, which is crazy. Welcome to episode 1, I guess we'll call it, episode 1 of my bulk journey. This whole entire year, I've been maintaining what I built. The highest weigh-in I ever was during my bulk was 140 pounds, which was hit in 2022. And the whole entire 2023, I've had other priorities, such as growing my business, growing spiritually, all this other stuff. I literally moved to a whole ass other state. Basically, I maintained this whole entire year. I decided I need change. I want something to motivate me, to push me in the gym again. When I go to the gym, I kind of feel like I'm going through the motions. I'm not feeling motivated the way I did in 2021 when I was powerlifting and hitting the biggest numbers I ever have. I don't plan to powerlift and hit PRs and all of that stuff. What I do want is to grow my glutes and legs. I loved maintaining this year because I was able to make my stomach super snatched and my legs and glutes look pretty decent and lean. I'm honestly surprised that I decided to bulk because I told myself after I got to 140, I didn't like how much face fat I ended up getting. I had a double chin, like maybe I'll insert a picture even though I'm really insecure about it, but I had a double chin, I had fat in my stomach, my lower back. I started to feel insecure every time I would see a picture of myself, and that's when I realized that I wanted to cut, and then I ended up maintaining what I built. But now I'm like, I kind of want to do a bulk, and obviously if I keep it clean, I can prevent gaining unwanted fat, but either way, I'm still probably going to get a double chin again. But to me, it'll be worth it. At least I have a goal to look forward to right now, and I can also grow my legs and glutes, which is something I haven't done in over a year. So today I did round 1 of my progress pictures. I took some videos as well, just so I can track my journey for the bulking. Not only is this motivating me to get back into the gym, there's so many wins to this, but this journey, I wanted to inspire others, and I want you guys to do it with me, so you feel like you have some accountability and it's gonna help motivate you. The series is for you guys. I want you guys to learn how I'm transitioning from maintaining to a bulk. I think it's like 5:30 right now, 5:30 p.m. I still haven't gone to the gym. Yeah, so this is day 1 of the bulk. I'm gonna be doing quads and glutes tonight. I was planning on showing you guys maybe my full quad and glute day, or just some of the things I do. And I'm also gonna show you guys a lot throughout this series. The foods I'm eating, why I'm eating it, how much I'm eating, how to weigh stuff. I'm literally gonna show you guys everything. All right guys, so let me stop yapping and let's get straight into the next clip. All right, welcome to the workout portion. So I decided to show you guys my full quad and glute day, every single exercise that I do, the weights, the reps, all of that good stuff. So the first thing I did was barbell squats. For this exercise, I really like to focus on my strength. So I tend to do less reps and I do heavier weight. So I always warm up with the bar. You guys want to make sure that you warm up with the bar so that you're warming up to do the movement that you're about to do. And I did 25 pounds on each side, which is 95 pounds total. I honestly can't do any more right now because I've only recently been doing barbell squats again. So I'm kind of getting used to it. I used to do a lot heavier, like my PR for squats was actually 185 for one. But yeah, I did 4 sets total of this. 3 of the sets I did at 25 pounds. And the first set I did like 15 pounds, I think, like for each side. I also want to teach you guys about belts. Belts are only really needed when you start going heavier. So you don't want to use it for your lighter sets. You want to do it when you're actually going heavy, and it just keeps your core stable. It's not necessarily needed, but it can most definitely help with bracing your core. The second exercise I performed was the Bulgarian split squats. I did 4 sets of 10 reps, and I only recently have been using 1 dumbbell. I used to do 2 dumbbells, but I realized that everyone on TikTok were using 1, and I was like, let me try that, because I feel like it would help a lot with balance and have a better mind-muscle connection so that I can actually go slow and controlled and get the most out of the movement from my glutes. So I do recommend doing 1 dumbbell, and you want to make sure it's on the side of the non-working leg, and you can put your hand out just like I was having it, or just hold like your other glute just to keep your balance. The third exercise is glute step-ups on the Smith machine. I do want to mention, this exercise is very challenging. Even for someone that's not a beginner, like someone that's really advanced like me, it is a fucking bitch. But it's so worth it because your glutes get insanely big and your quads as well. You want to try your best to go slow and controlled and send yourself back very slowly to the point where your toes are touching the ground only slightly. I have a hard time still with that just because the Smith machine is very heavy. It's Arsenal equipment, so it is heavier than a regular Smith machine at commercial gyms. But yeah, I did 3 sets of 7 with no weight. Alright, so the 4th exercise is going to be the leg press. The leg press is my #1 quad building exercise because I've noticed my quads get the most juiciest compared to other exercises. So I do 4 sets I did 7 reps. It should be 8, but I was kind of feeling weak. So I did 7 reps. When you do leg press, you want to make sure that your legs are going all the way to your chest. That way you're getting a full range of motion and getting the most out of the movement. Okay, now the last exercise is the glute bias back extensions. I tend to do this with either a plate, a dumbbell, or the easy bar. I actually just started using the easy bar, not in this video, but I like using the easy bar because I can get away with doing heavier weight and it's kind of like easier. But yeah, for this exercise, I did 3 sets of 14 reps at 25 pounds. You want to make sure when you guys are at the top and squeezing that you're arching your upper back and you're not overarching your lower back. That's the biggest mistake a lot of people make. You also want to hold the weight away from your body for it to target your glutes. The last thing I want to say about this exercise, it's the #1 booty building exercise. You need to have this in your plan twice a week because it's going to make your cheeks perky as fuck, so do it. I wanted to show you guys what I have for breakfast. I have 1 cup of coffee, 3 servings of egg whites, 2 eggs, and now I have a bagel instead of oatmeal. Oatmeal is less carbs and bagels are more carbs, so now that I'm bulking, it's best to have a bagel, so I do recommend that for you guys as well. I'm really trying to show you guys everything I possibly can to help you on your bulking journey. For lunch, I eat Chipotle chicken wraps, and I make the chicken from scratch on one day, which takes some time, but after that, I put it in a container in the fridge, and every single day, my lunch only takes 15 minutes to prep. You're going to need chicken tenderloins, garlic, smoked paprika, make sure it's smoked, then you're going to want to use basil, salt, and lastly, pepper. The first thing I do before prepping the chicken with all of the seasonings is cutting the fat off because there's no point in chewing unnecessary fat if I don't have to. So I do recommend getting a kitchen scissor and like a scissor that's literally made for cutting food. And you're going to want to cut all of that fat off and anything bad you see such as like blood spots, anything else you see, take that off. Alright, so now that the fat is off the chicken, we're gonna go ahead and season it. It doesn't matter what order you season, by the way. I kind of went ham on the garlic in the beginning if you guys saw that, but I don't mind just because I love hella garlic anyway. But yeah, I started off with garlic, and the next one that I put on is the smoked paprika. This little seasoning right here is a pain in the ass because I shake it so hard and nothing comes out. So you have to shake it and like give it a little break and then go back again. The next seasoning is going to be basil. This one is actually named after my last name, Watkins. But yeah, it literally doesn't matter what brand you get it from. Okay, so once you are done seasoning, you're gonna wanna take the pieces of the tenderloins and flip them over and do the same thing all over again. Next thing you're going to do is add the tinfoil for the air fryer, and you're gonna put all of your little chickies on the tinfoil. Now, I try to buy a chicken pack that is like $9 to $10, which is usually the ones that doesn't have like too much chicken, because I want to be able to fit every single piece in the air fryer so I don't have to cook it twice. So you want to make sure that you put in all of your chicken and move it the correct way so they can all fit there. And you want to make sure that you have a temperature thing so you can check to make sure that your chicken is 165, because it really needs to be cooked at the correct temperature. So that's why I don't mind like cramming all the chicken in there, because I check the temperature anyway and it always ends up being fine. So yeah, I just realized something I wanted to say. So what I'm showing you guys right now, this is for any type of chicken you want to make. It's so easy to make chicken. You can add whatever seasoning you want. And what I'm showing you right now technically is for the recipe of making the Chipotle chicken wraps, but you can make this chicken however you want and have it for any meal you want. Okay, so what I personally do is 380 for 18 minutes. At the 9-minute mark, I take them out and I make sure I flip every single side. Once I finish flipping, I put it back in the air fryer for 9 minutes. And as I do that, I start to prep everything else. So you're gonna wanna make sure you have 2 tortillas. I specifically use this one because it has less carbs, and I use 2 of the tortillas, so it's little tortillas. What I'm gonna do next is first, I'm gonna put the tortillas in the microwave for about 15 seconds. Technically, you can put it on the stove to make it a better texture, but I don't need to do all that work because that takes a long time, so I just use the microwave because I'm not too picky. Before I go ahead and start doing things, I like to show you guys exactly every single ingredient that's going to be needed for the recipe. So we're gonna have the tortillas, 1 avocado, and we're not gonna use the whole avocado, by the way, tomatoes, and you want this blue top Chipotle sauce. I got it from Amazon because it's a very healthy sauce, and unfortunately they don't sell it at the stores, so you're gonna wanna get it at Amazon if you do wanna try this recipe. And you also wanna get lettuce as well. Once the tortillas are out of the microwave, I get my little baby cutting board that I got from Amazon, and I get a little piece of paper towel because sometimes the avocado can get a little messy. So for the avocado, I only use 1/4. So I first cut it in half, and then from there, I cut the half into a half. So I only use 1/4 of it, and I use that 1/4 to spread it between both of the tortillas. I know y'all are gonna roast me in the comments for using a butter knife. I do wanna say that I was using sharper knives, but I cut myself twice, and I kinda have PTSD, so I only use the butter knives now. But for you personally, I think you should use a sharp knife. Just be careful. But yeah, so I cut that part in half, I spread it between the tortillas, and I use the fork to spread it because the fork is the easiest thing that I've tried, at least. So you wanna make sure you spread it all around. Once I'm done with that, I take the other half and I put it in a little bag. I honestly should find a better way to store this because it browns pretty quickly. So if you guys have any tips in the comments other than the lemon trick, let me know. Once the avocado is on, I then move on to the tomatoes. So I use these baby tomatoes. You only need 1 of them, and honestly one of them ends up being too much. So I like to cut little slivers of it. I cut 6 of them, so 3 are going to be on each tortilla. By the time I'm done with the tomatoes, the chicken is out of the air fryer. So I take it out, I take my temperature thing, and I make sure that they're 165. If it's not 165, I put them in for maybe like 2 more minutes. I kind of just do whatever up until I can get it to be 165. So make sure that you guys are doing this. I can't stress that enough. Once they're all tested and good to go, I take them out and I shred the chicken. So I literally just use my fork and the knife. The fact that it's fresh and hot, it pulls apart pretty easily. So just make sure you guys shred all of it. This part right here is something that I wish I knew when I started my fitness journey because no one ever showed me how to use the scale. It wasn't on YouTube. TikTok wasn't even a thing back then. So what I do is I make sure my chicken is 3.5 ounces. That's the specific serving size that I need in order to reach a certain amount of protein. So I go on the scale. You want to make sure you do ounces when you're weighing out portions of protein. And I wait until it gets all the way to 3.5. And then the rest of the chicken, I end up putting it in a container. It's actually a container I got from Amazon for meal prep. And you're going to save it. So every single day when you have lunch, it only takes a few minutes to heat that up. So you don't have to do the whole process that I just showed you of cooking it because you're already going to have it for like basically a week. Just to make sure I mention this, I made this on Sunday. So it wasn't day 2 like I showed you guys in the video. I just wanted to make sure I added this in the video to show you how I made my lunch. But yeah, I do recommend adding your dates to make sure you never eat expired chicken. Alright, so we are almost done here, guys. Next up is adding the Chipotle creamy sauce. I do want to say, since this is one of the healthy ones that doesn't really have macros, I kind of just freeball it and do whatever. But if you guys were using something that's unhealthy and doesn't have the best macros, like if it has a lot of fat, that's something you should be measuring, because this is where people have an issue where they gain like weight if they're someone that's overweight, because they're adding all this stuff and they have no idea that it has so much fat. The last step is going to be the spring mix. I do recommend getting spring mix just because it has spinach and other types of leaves that are important. And I kind of just spread it however. I use my intuition and that's it. I'm going to show you guys as well what I eat for dinner. I have chicken twice a day. I don't mind because I eat it in different ways, but I eat grilled chicken that I get from the Chicken Pound. They are actually a meal prep company that ships nationwide. You guys can use code Macy10 to save you guys 10% off. But yeah, I eat this for dinner and I eat jasmine rice with it. I do want to mention that I'm showing you guys some of the meals that I eat, but this video is not a full day of eating. Just want to make sure I say that. Hello guys, welcome to day 3 of my bulking journey. Today is Wednesday. On Monday when I started the bulk, I was weighing at 131.2 pounds, and this morning I was 131.5 pounds. So I went up 0.3 pounds. Obviously it's not a lot, but that is a good amount for 3 days. Now I'm gonna tell you guys basically an update on how it's been transitioning to eating in a bulk. Okay, so for the bulk, I put myself in a plus 150. So my maintenance, 2,128 calories. Now I'm at 2,278 calories. So I gave myself a 150 plus surplus just to get started. When you're doing a bulk, you want to slowly add calories as you go. And when you start off, you're going to want to do maybe plus 100, plus 150, 200 might be pushing it. It all depends on how much you can eat. But for myself, I gave myself 150. So the calories are 2,278 calories, 160 grams of protein, 64 grams of fat, and 267 grams of carbs. My protein goal is actually at the same goal when I was eating at maintenance. The only difference is how much fat I'm eating. That raised a little bit, and then how much carbs I'm eating. So basically, let me tell you guys the differences of what I'm eating as well. In the mornings when I was eating at maintenance, I was eating oatmeal, which is less carbs. And now since I'm bulking, I'm making a bagel. So the bagel is around 50 grams of carbs. I love having bagels in the morning when I'm bulking. It boosts my carb goal and helps me reach it. So I tell a lot of my clients that as well. But that's one of the changes I made. I also altered how many ounces of chicken I'm eating for dinner. I altered my rice. My rice amount for dinner was at 140 grams of carbs, and now it's at 160. That little amount actually does make a big difference in your carbs. And lastly, I altered my granola. I have an acai bowl before bed every night, so I just altered how much I'm eating in that. So yeah, just little tiny changes. I'm gonna tell you guys how it's been in the bulk so far. Honestly, today's day 3, and I still haven't been able to eat in the surplus. It's been taking me time to adjust. On Monday, I think I barely reached maintenance. On Tuesday, I ate maintenance, and today my goal is to actually eat in the surplus. The reason why I actually wasn't able to get in the surplus quickly is because in the morning, I had to get a filling because I went to the dentist. So it kind of delayed my eating and my schedule, and I was like, shit, like, I'm literally on a bulking journey. You have to wake up early and really be on top of your meals to get all of your meals in when you're bulking. But when I went to the dentist, it kind of messed that up. I had to wait till the anesthetics were gone before I could eat. So that delayed me yesterday. I feel like yesterday I could have reached my bulking macros and calories, but that did affect it. So today is gonna be the day where I'm gonna try to reach it. But basically, even though I wasn't eating at a surplus the past 2 days so far, I still did go up in weight, so that's really good. Still eating more than I was before. So when you guys are transitioning, if you're like me, you might still end up gaining weight because you're still eating a bit more than you were before, even if you're not in a surplus yet. But once you're eating at the surplus and you eat that consistently, your weigh-ins are gonna start skyrocketing, especially in the gym. If you actually utilize the fuel of the food to lift heavier, it's gonna make the biggest difference.